Let's move on to the markets. And in Nigeria, like I mentioned, we're focusing fully on Nigeria at this time. Of course, big decision around the MPC. But coming back to the equity market, we did see it tick ever so slightly higher today, closing at 33,298 points. So 2 straight days of gains after the volatility we've seen recently. Today, we did see, again, some of the cement companies leading the market higher, the likes of Lafarge WAPCO adding to the gains we've seen this week. Of course, Ashaka Cement was one of those that gained yesterday, and of course, Dangote Cement as well. Let's now get a perspective from Abiola Razak. He's team lead for research at UBA Capital, to give us his thoughts on the market and, of course, what the MPC decision means for equities. It's good to have you on the show, Abiola.
Thank you very much.
Let's start, first of all, by getting your thoughts on the market trend, though. Recently, we've seen some volatility. I guess it's pleasing to see consecutive gains after the losses we saw last week.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, but I think one thing we should note at this point is the fact that the market is at equilibrium. And what I mean by that is that if you look at the current valuation of the market now, about 13.5 times PE, dividend yield from a trailing perspective is just around 2.6%. This is almost in line with the emerging market multiples. So for us, we think the market will just continue to have trade at very tight bands. What we'll continue to see is a few days of gains and a few days of losses. Right. The losses won't be significant, and neither would the gains will be strong. So for us, we think the market will just continue to hover this level over the next few trading sessions. Pending the time we'll see earnings in the market, which will then provide a breakout opportunity in the market. Of course, you know, earnings season for the banks would kick off sometimes before the end of the week, most likely on Friday.
So perhaps GT Bank, right?
Exactly. So if GT Bank does release their numbers on Friday, you see more further rally in the market, particularly in terms of activity level. If you look at the market over the last few trading sessions, activity level has been quite low. For instance, today we have just around 2.9 billion value of transactions.
You're absolutely
which is,
right.
Actually lower than about 3.8 billion average value of transaction that we've seen on a year-to-date basis.
Indeed. Well, let's move back to the MPC discussion. Perhaps it's still the banks that we'll point to here, because they're the ones that are most directly impacted by the MPC decision. Your thoughts on what the decision means for the banks, with the central bank, or should I say the Monetary Policy Committee, deciding to keep the rates on hold?
Yes, the impact of a bank will not be significant, but I think we must not lose sight of the fact that margins may contract a little going forward into 2013, and the major reason for that is clear. If you look at the spread between the maximum lending rate and the deposit rate, it's been narrowing on a year-to-date basis. And the major reason for that is because of the fact that maximum lending rate is a little sticky, and that's because it's already at peak levels. So there's really less opportunity for banks to actually reprice their asset, irrespective of whether the MPC is reducing their rates at this point or not. Unfortunately, deposit rate is increasing very fast, which means higher cost of fund for the banks.
Right.
So interestingly,
let's stay on that point. Why do you think deposit rates are inching higher now?
I think two major reasons. One is the sophistication of the customers out there. Right. The more developed the market is, the more customers get sophisticated.
So they're asking for more.
So customers are beginning to ask for more in terms of deposit rates, particularly on the term deposit.
Right.
And we've seen significant shift from current and savings accounts over the last 1.5 years into term deposits, which is bank placement actually. So the more you see of all these wholesale funds in the market, the more the cost of funds for the banks. Beyond that sophistication of the customers, you also should not forget the fact that the interest environment is high, and the psychology of the customers out there is the fact that if I can actually place my money with the CBN in form of treasury bills, which even despite the moderation in yield that we've seen, I can actually get about 13.3, 13.5%. So it makes no sense for me to get anything lower than that. I actually need to get higher than that to compensate for the higher risk I'm taking in placing the money with the banks. So, and that's why you've seen that increase, significant jump, about 200 basis points actually, in terms of the savings deposit rate for the banks. So that means higher cost of fund for the banks, but no opportunity for them to actually reprice the asset, like I said earlier. So meaning that yield on asset is actually going to crash going forward. That means lower earnings opportunity for banks, which then come to the fact that banks need to look for better yield assets, particularly risk assets going forward, to be able to at least
probably grow their loan book. But what's
exactly
your thoughts on how well they can grow that loan book this year? I think I recall Fitch proposing that maybe they could do about 30% this year. From the notes we saw from the Monetary Policy Committee meeting today, it's somewhere around 21% on an annualized basis right now. Your thoughts on where we'll see things settle for this year? We
are not as bullish as Fitch. Like you mentioned, you said Fitch is calling for about 30% growth in loan book. We are calling for just about 20%. And the major reason for that is clear. With a high interest rate environment and protracted high yield environment that you've seen, particularly now that the CBN has not reduced the rate on the MPC, which is in line with our own expectation anyway, we expect our banks will be a little cautious at this point in time, because you don't want to create a significant risk asset at the end of the day you might have to make provisions for. Right. So there's need for them to create quality assets. Yes, they want to bank the SMEs to be able to grow their balance sheet and also deepen their penetration of the market, but they won't do that at the expense of creating quality assets. So what you see going forward is that banks in the short term will actually be cautious, and of course the high expectation of 20% growth in loan book is still in line with the annualized rate of around 21% private sector credit that we've seen so far in the year. So for us, we're still maintaining that expectation of 20% loan growth.
Quick word on the bank, still bullish on a broad sense, or you think it's all priced in right now, the results we're expecting? Very quick point.
The results we're expecting to a very large extent has been priced in, but we'll still see a little further rally. For instance, banks are still trading around 9 multiple in terms of PE. In terms of price to book, yes, this seems to be trading very fast, converging very fast to emerging market peers, multiple around 2.0 price to book. Currently now Nigerian banks are trading around 1.6, 1.7 price to book multiple. So once the numbers are released, we expect that there will be further rally on banking stocks. And of course, that would justify our own expectation that there's still pockets of opportunities within the banking industry.
Abiola, we really have to end it there. Thank you so much. Abiola Razak from UBA Capital giving us his thoughts on Nigeria's banking sector.